thought I had more time. I thought I had more time to actually build the greenhouse and then jump onto some things that would be beneficial for my father-in-law to have around the property, specifically around the house. But I don't. So I'm going to have to put the greenhouse build on hold and take care of some things that he needs, because what's today? Today, as of this video, is Friday, February 7th. And he, on Tuesday, woke up. For those that don't know, my father-in-law, one of the reasons why Shelly and I moved up here is last year he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. So we felt led that we needed to come up here and just help take care of him, take care of things around the property, since he can't do that. And so that's why we're here. That's the primary reason why we're here. And last Tuesday, he woke up and with some sort of cold, flu, whatever. He had a fever, and he was not in his right mind. Like, he was incredibly agitated. He could barely walk. I mean, he needed assistance wherever he was going, walking wise. Like, somebody had to help him go, and there was no rhyme or reason to where he wanted to go. He just could not sit still. And so I'll share some things that, sure, kick the camera while you do that. Just some things that were not normal for him. Now, his cognitive reasoning since being diagnosed, just kind of over the last 2-3 years, has just kind of declined. And, you know, he can put sentences together and he can talk to you. But Tuesday, he wakes up and he's just not in his right mindset. And so we're like, let's get him some food. And so Shelly makes him a breakfast burrito and puts it at his place at the table. He's sitting on the couch. We're like, come on, let's get up and come to the table. Well, he gets up barely and then sits down at the chair right next to next to the couch. So my mother-in-law helps him out, brings him over. Where am I going? You got to go to the table. Where's my spot at the table? Which everybody has a spot at the table, right? Like, even if you're the adult of the house, it's at the head. It's like right there where your coffee cup is. So he's, oh, okay. So he sits down and he starts drinking his coffee. And he goes to set his coffee down, but he goes to put it down, and he puts it down on his plate, like he's trying to put it on his plate next to the burrito. And you're like, so I grab it. I'm like, hey, let's put it on the table. How come? I was like, well, it's flatter. That way, if it spills, it's not going to get all of your breakfast burrito. Oh, okay. Wednesday, you know, he gets up. He's not much better. A little bit better, but not much. My mother-in-law has her Bible out, and he grabs a pencil and opens it up, and he's just randomly circling chapters within the Bible. Like, he's in Mark and he's just like scanning through a circle, and then he takes like all of her cross references and just like highlights them all up the page, like X, you know, square all the way around it. He's in Leviticus circling chapter marks. He's in Ezekiel circling chapter marks. I was like, well, this should be a fun thing to look back on, right? And at one point, he looks at me and he goes, hey, did you get a haircut? And I was like, I did. He goes, looks good. And I was like, that was the first sane thing you've said, like, in 2 days. I say all of that. Obviously, the fever and his condition and his medication and all the things that go along with someone with Parkinson's has really affected him during this sickness. And so it just makes me look around the house and go, well, okay, I probably should put the greenhouse on hold and start installing some grab bars, you know, some railings for when he's walking back in the hallway. He needs a ramp, you know, to go up to his porch because he doesn't need to be walking up and down stairs. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the greenhouse on hold, and we are going to start doing some things around the house and around the property that would benefit him and keep him upright as much as possible. So a friend of mine a while back sends me this scripture verses in 1 Corinthians 15:57. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. And I started thinking about like that. You know, as Christians, we all love to think, oh, we live in victory, we're victorious. And we are. I mean, there are things that we have victory over. And the reality is some things just come our way. And we do have to face those things. And so I started talking to this about with Shelly. And I was like, do you really think your dad's living the victorious life? Like, you know, like everything's going well for him. And she's like, well, no, like he has Parkinson's and it's going downhill. And aside from the Lord stepping in, which he could totally do and heal him from that, which would be amazing. You can pray for that. We'd accept that. But, you know, should the Lord be like, this is what his lot is, and that's how he's going to come home. The interesting thing about all of that is watching my father-in-law over the last, since he's been diagnosed, like his relationship and walk with the Lord has gotten so much stronger. He prays way more than he used to. I've just watched his walk with the Lord get stronger. I guess what I'm getting at is he could have a choice under his condition to be like, there is no God. Like, God, why are you causing me to suffer this way? Why did you cause me to have this Parkinson's disease? He's not once said that. He's not once mentioned that. He's not sad about it. He's not mad about it. So to watch somebody in his condition continually pursue the Lord, is that victorious? Oh yeah, very much so. I mean, so much so, even when he's not in his right mind, he's still highlighting things in the Bible. Whether they make sense or not, well, that's yet to be determined, I guess. But anyway, there you go. That's the update. And it's an intro to this video, and you will actually see my father-in-law, a.k.a. Randy, that's his name, or Grumpy, which is what he wanted his grandkids to call him, my kids to call him. He will make a cameo, and he will help us before he got sick, so you get to see him in his natural state, helping us dig holes for the greenhouse and telling a little bit of a backstory on the infamous post hole diggers that are about, I don't know, 50, 60 years, somewhere around there. Anyway, there's your update. That's what's going on behind the scenes. Pray for us, and yeah, thanks for watching. After a couple of days of leveling the pad site, the next step was to mark the corners of the greenhouse and where the rest of the 4x4s would go. That right there is why our kids feared you.
I never beat our children. Spanked them. Didn't beat them.
So here's what we did. We sunk a stake in the ground here and pulled 12 feet off of that down to that stake over there, kind of in line with those other two garden boxes over there. And then we ran a string line over here on the close to the ground, so that would give us a plane so that we could pull 18 feet off down there and loosely get us some measurements so that we could kind of square it up. And then we pulled measurements from that corner to that corner and from this corner to that corner. And that's what got us this square. Well, it's not square. It's a rectangle that's squared up. That is 12 feet this way by 18 feet in length. And then there'll be like a 6-foot kind of covered porch pergola type thing on the far end over there where that's flattened down over there. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull a measurement from here, and we're going to go every 6 feet. We're going to just put a mark because we're going to sink a 4x4. So we'll pull 6 feet, make a mark, pull another 6 feet, make a mark. We'll do it on this side, and then we'll do it on that side as well. And then we're going to find center on this string line and then go 18 inches on either side because we have a 36-inch door that's going to go there. And then we're going to make a mark, 18 inches, I guess, to the left and the right of the center. So that'll create our 36-inch opening so that we can make some more marks, 2 more marks. We'll do that here. We'll do that down there. And then we're going to go get the auger, and we're actually going to just start drilling holes and augering some holes so that then we can go to the other side of the property and get some 4x4s that we already have cut, and we will start sinking those. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you are now caught up. If it doesn't make sense, it's her fault.
What? My fault? 6 feet. Bam.
And then if we're correct, this should be 18, right?
Should be.
Oh, bam, 18. Hey, buddy, what you doing?
So half of 12 would be 6.
Here's 6, 72.
So 6 minus 18.
So there's
Would
12.
be 5 plus 6 inches, right?
Yep. With all the holes marked out, it was time to put the auger on and catch up with the supervisor for the project. Are you supervising?
Yes.
Okay. What do I need to do?
Put it in gear and go down all the way.
Okay.
Have you ever hit a water line?
I've hit everything as imaginable. I make the biggest mess.
You think he'll hit it, or you think he'll be okay?
I think he's good.
Well, how'd we do?
I think you got an A+.
An A+, really? Wow. I'm gonna whine a little bit. I hate post hole diggers. It's just not a fun. It's just not a fun tool. But these are even less fun because these are metal. My wife's grandfather made these. I have no idea. Probably, I want to say at least, I don't know, 40, 50 years ago. And they're like 15 pounds. They're so heavy. And there's just makes it just that much more tiring to clean holes out. But thankfully we have an auger and it did all the hard work for us. So now I'm just going to clean out these holes with this thing. Oh, what a glorious day. Catching back up with the supervisor, he shares why these post hole diggers are his favorite ones and a bit of history behind them. Are these your favorite post hole diggers?
Yeah, they are.
Why?
Well, because they're really weighted just perfect. Perfect. Yeah, they're not flimsy steel. It's like good cast iron steel.
They're weighted perfect, says the guy that didn't clean out any holes.
Well, you don't need to clean it. You can just let it dry off. And then
No, you didn't clean out any of those holes we had augered.
You were supposed to do that with your right hand arm, bringing the drive up and the whole mechanism up to help clear the...
Oh, I did it wrong?
Yeah. Well, you did it right. You just didn't do it long enough.
Oh. So you're saying I'm a rookie. It's okay, I am a rookie. You can say that. Rookie.
No, I'm not going to say you're a rookie.
But you really like these post hole diggers.
Yeah, I like them. If we're going to use them, like to make a pad with piers, this is the best thing to use.
These things?
Well, in fact, these belong to TR.
I know. That's your father-in-law. And like, I think these things are, I said 40 years old. I think they're actually older than that.
Probably are.
I think they're probably more like 50 or 60 years old.
We got a lighter pair around here somewhere, but nobody likes to use it.
Now you tell me.
You wouldn't like it. You'd use it for maybe 2 or 3 swipes, and then you'd go back to this one right here.
Okay, this is the best pair you got. All right, I trust you.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're doing a real good job, I tell you.
I'm done for the day.
Oh, well, good.
This wore me out.
I'll do it. It will wear you out.
All right, there you have it. We're done for the day. Sun is setting. It's starting to become golden hour. And I'm done with these things.
Oh, you'll like them tomorrow.
Before we called it a day, we did go ahead and get the 4x4s we needed from the other side of the property and bring them to the job site. Which brings us to the following day. Hi, Tucker. Another day here on the garden greenhouse project. Today we are actually going to set the 4x4s. We're going to set the 4x4s up in these holes that we dug with the auger. And we'll see how that goes. They'll be varying in lengths according to where they fall in the, whether they're on the end or on the side. The side walls we're actually going to make shorter. They're not going to be a full 8 feet. They're just going to be kind of like a skirt, if you will. And then we'll build the bottom plate on top of that to go up to 8 feet. Just because, I don't know, we're just winging it. So come along as we wing this thing and see how it turns out. I'm a little nervous how it's going to turn out. Tucker and Duke are just going to bite each other's face off. But in the meantime, we're going to get to work. I'm not gonna do this all day, no way. Whew. That's heavy. I won't last all day if I do that.
You should go 130, 2, 3, 4, somewhere in there.
After cutting the first hole, I realized I hadn't checked the depth of each one to make sure they all measured our desired depth. We decided to sink each pole roughly 30 inches deep, so I made a 30-inch mark on the hoe and used that as my gauge. Some holes were deeper than others, so we backfilled them in until they reached the approximate 30 inches, and some holes needed to be a bit deeper, so I got the privilege of using the old postal digger again. Once all the holes were at the correct depth, we went back to cutting the 4x4s and setting the posts. The 4x4 started out at 14 feet 6 inches and 16 feet 6 inches in length. We made our first cut at 132 inches and used the offcuts for the shorter posts. We will cut everything to height when we tie them all together. Setting the posts was a repeatable process where we leveled the post, compacted the dirt around the post with our feet, and then piled more dirt around the post and finished compacting the dirt using a steel tamper. All right, there you have it. It's the end of the day. The sun is set. The clouds have rolled in because tomorrow is supposed to rain, which will do good for these posts. It will hopefully help the dirt settle. But this is what we got done. All of the 4x4s, I say loosely 4x4s because, well, I milled them myself. That's why. So, door will go here, door will go back there. The thought or the plan is to actually build a wall. We'll come up about 24 inches, level this out, make a notch in here, and basically the bottom plate will run along here and notch into somewhere into this guy. And then we will go up from here. We'll go up to 8 feet. At some point we actually have to mark the tops of those. We haven't done that yet. We'll do that, I don't know, when it dries out and it's not so muddy to walk around. There you have it. We have one 16-footer left over that we did not use, so I can go take that back up over into the stockpile and we can deal with that later and make something else out of that. But that's it. There you go. That's 2 people, middle-aged people, just trying to build a greenhouse. Thanks for hanging out with us, and yeah, we'll see what happens on the next video. Maybe we'll get the mill running and we'll mill up some lumber for the rest of this thing. All right, that's it. It's getting dark. I gotta put some tools away.